The trend lines. The very first thing any trader learns when starting to trade. Drawing body to body or shadow to shadow, thousands of trading strategies using the trend line, then backtesting all those strategies.
Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man.
Finally starting a trade and losing some money. I'm the only one here to put an end to this. You might feel so wise and ask me, how am I gonna do it? Well, I'm gonna use a secret weapon no one has ever dared to even talk about. And that is Fibonacci speed resistance fan. I know it might sound a little scary and seem a little goofy, but it is extremely easy to use and I promise you will make money from any trend line you can possibly draw. So watch till the end. I can assure you this is the most valuable trading video you'll ever see in entire YouTube.
God bless you all.
The one and only thing you need to do is to go to Fibonacci items and pick Fibonacci speed resistance fan. Click and drag all the way down and right, that's all. In settings, uncheck all the items except for 0, 1 and 0.618, then add 0.27 and 1.76. Also uncheck all the time levels as we don't need them for this strategy. The rest of the changes are optional depending on how fancy you are. I'm gonna give you a very brief introduction on how this Fibonacci tool really works. These straight levels are actually Fibonacci retracement values, and these arcs indicate dynamic support and resistance levels, which means if one of these arcs are penetrated, the price falls to the lower arc. This can go on and on until a major reversal point. Enough of this boring introduction. I want to implement two step-by-step strategies to get you instantly from a magnificent beginner straight to a glorified pro with a winning portfolio. At the end of this video, you will trade with every trend line you can possibly draw. So to begin with, the very first step is applying Fibonacci speed on a trend. You need to watch carefully as it can be a little tricky.
Mr. President-elect, go ahead.
If you are a beginner, I would recommend you first draw a simple price action trend line, such as this one right here. Then pick Fibonacci speed resistance fan. The first click has to be at the beginning of the trend, and the second click has to be at the end of the trend. Notice this orange arc right here, which belongs to Fibonacci 0 level, has to be exactly on the trend line.
Buddy. Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
For this bearish trend, I draw a simple trend line. Then I apply Fibonacci speed resistance fan. The first click must be at the beginning of the trend, and the second click has to be at the end of the trend. The most important point is that the Fibonacci speed orange arc has to be exactly on the trend line. Simple as that. The second step is actually our first strategy. I apply Fibonacci speed to this uptrend. First up, I have to wait for 0.27 line breakout. Once it does, I'll wait for a pullback. If completed, I'll enter a trade. The first take profit point is Fibonacci 0.618 level. Upon reaching, I'll close 60% of my short position and bring my stop loss to my entry point to avoid any loss if market reverses. The next take profit point is Fibonacci 1, at which I'll close 30%. The final take profit point is Fibonacci 1.76, which is a magical value that acts as a major reversal point. This is what I literally call a masterpiece. So let's see what we can learn from this strategy. The first key point is we entered a trade before the trend line breakout, which means Fibonacci speed warns the end of the trend in advance by a breakout from 0.27. The second key takeaway from this strategy is that once 0.27 is penetrated, price will always touch 0.618 with 100% win rate. That's all.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
One good news about this strategy is you don't have to pick big trends in order to trade using this strategy. Even small trends would make the day, such as this one.
That's kind of small.
I draw a bearish trend line for this small trend right here. Then I apply my Fibonacci speed. Once Fibonacci 0.27 is penetrated, I'll wait for a pullback. Then I enter a trade. My first take profit point is 0.618. I set my stop loss somewhere between Fibonacci 0 and 0.27. Upon reaching my first take profit point, I'll close 60% of my position and bring my stop loss to my entry point. Then I'll go for the second and the third take profit points. Once again, all the targets are touched, with Fibonacci 1.76 being the final stop and acting as a major reversal point. Since I'm aware of the kind of the zombies dwelling in the backstage of the markets, I have to be a bit more cautious. As I already told you, bringing the stop loss to the entry point after the first take profit point is crucial, since it prevents any unnecessary loss in case things go bad. Coming next is our second strategy, which is a game changer. This is the most powerful strategy you can do with Fibonacci. I have decided to expose it for my subscribers. But before, I ask you to take 5 seconds of your day and subscribe to my channel. If you found the video useful, hit the like button. It's really important for me to know my free content is being valued. The second strategy is much like the previous one, but more powerful. All these steps are the same, but you need to reverse the Fibonacci speed fan. Here's how you'll do it. In settings, scroll down and turn on the reverse item. I'm also changing the color for my own convenience, and I choose a more distinct color for 1.76 and 0. Once you apply the Fibonacci speed on a trend, make sure the second click, which is at the end of the trend, to be on the Fibonacci 1.76 instead of Fibonacci 1. Also, 1.76 arc has to be exactly on the trend line. This is the only difference with the previous strategy. To set another example, I apply Fibonacci speed fan to this trend. My first click at the beginning of the trend and my second click, which is 1.76 at the end of the trend. I also align 1.76 arc with my trend line. So let's get straight to the strategy. The first step is that I draw a trend line for this uptrend. Then I apply my Fibonacci speed resistance fan. For entry point, we need a breakout from 1.76 arc. Once it happens, I enter a trade and set my take profit point to Fibonacci level 0, which is the beginning of the trend, and my stop loss to 1.76. Look what happens. For this downtrend, I apply Fibonacci speed fan. Once the candle penetrates 1.76 arc, I enter a trade. I set my take profit point to Fibonacci 0 and my stop loss to Fibonacci 1.76. In order to make this powerful strategy much safer than it is, I would recommend you divide your take profit points to these 4 levels. Let me explain. I draw a trend line for this uptrend and I apply my Fibonacci speed fan. The moment price penetrates 1.76 arc, I enter a trade and set my take profit point to Fibonacci level 1. Once price reaches level 1, I extend it to Fibonacci 0.618 and cut my stop loss to half. I go for the third and the fourth take profit points. There's only one occasion that this strategy gets stuck and fails. A very odd situation you must be so unlucky to encounter.
Oh no! Anyway, last week...
And that is directly related to Fibonacci speed fan time levels. The ultimate version of the both strategies is unlocked by using the time levels. This is a premium technique, and to be honest, I'm unwilling to expose it. But tell me in the comments, if you are interested to know about the time levels, I might make a second part to this video. Besides, don't forget to check my Fibonacci courses. They are extremely powerful strategies, just like this one, which is nowhere to be found. Here's the end of the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the comments. You'll get an answer. Until another episode, take care.